Hi there, welcome to Nepi Invest and welcome to the final day of September. September 30, 2024. We have about 50 minutes left of trading today. In fact, this time next week in Brisbane, the market will be closed because we don't have daylight saving in Brisbane. And I'm pretty sure daylight saving starts this Sunday. I could be mistaken, but I do prefer the markets to open at 9 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. because I tend to be more of a morning person than, say, an evening person. And I just prefer the markets opening a little bit earlier and closing a little bit earlier. Although, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind it if the markets open for 8 hours instead of 6, but that's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Anyway, a pretty good day in the markets, particularly mining. Resource up 1.68%. I'm pretty certain that has been led by iron ore companies again because of that stimulus in China. However, I did actually see something in the Trading and Economics website in regards to manufacturing in China being below expectations. So have a look at that later in the video. Tech's had an okay day today. Small caps, not a good day. So pretty good week last week for small caps. And that goodness has come out of the small caps market today, the more small cap sector today. Okay, so the agenda for today's video, we'll have a look at a tweet, go through some news flow today, China and also Japan. The Nikkei's collapsed today for some reason, not sure why. I think Trading Economics tries to discuss or tries to mention the reason why. I think it has to do with the yen. It's something to do with the yen. And then we'll have a look at the ASX today, the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. I did struggle to come up with the top 5 stocks today. Not much was released, but I have come up with 5 interesting companies. A2 Milk is one of them, and I talked about A2 Milk last week. But the reason I wanted to include A2 Milk is because they received a price query from the ASX, and I loved their answer. Loved how they tried to explain things. So that's why I have included A2 Milk in my top 5 stocks today. But September does tend to be quite quiet when it comes to news flow, but we're going to see the news flow really ramp up later in October. October is one of my favorite months of the year when it comes to investing. Okay, and I don't have any charts lined up, but I do want to look at some of your comments because at this point in time, I'm getting more than 10 comments per video. So I'm falling a little bit behind. Okay, so let's get to this tweet. Yes, this is an interesting tweet. So this is from the Kobayashi letter. Something doesn't add up here. Oil prices are now falling toward, now this was released a few days ago, but oil prices are now falling toward their lowest levels in 14 months. This comes even as the Fed cuts rates, wars are broken out, and markets think we have a soft landing. So why are oil prices falling like we're in a recession? And I didn't go through all the comments and all the replies. I'm pretty sure someone probably mentioned why it's happening. But the Kobayashi letter kept replying to their own message, which happens a lot on Twitter. Yeah, they have just comment after this. Anyway, so that's really interesting. And the reason I wanted to discuss that is because there was a little report in Trading Economics that oil gains on rising Middle East tensions. And this is what you should expect because there is a chance that these Middle East tensions will a chance. I'm just saying not a 100% chance, but just a chance. It could be 1% chance, could be 99% chance. But I think there is a greater chance now that there could be, I wouldn't say an all-out war, but it's looking a bit dicey over there right now. And so if that does transpire, you should see oil rally quite nicely over the next, during that period anyway. Other things they mentioned in Trading Economics here, China manufacturing unexpectedly shrinks. So this was against expectations. The manufacturing PMI fell to 49.3, which means it's contracting. It needs to be above 50, decreased from 50.4, missing estimates of 50.5 and marking the lowest level since July 2023. Apparently, New Zealand business mood has increased, highest in over a decade. So it seems like the business mood in New Zealand has improved. Japan retail sales growth beats forecast, and Japan's Nikkei drops over 4% on stronger yen. In fact, plunged 4.6%. So really interesting day so far on the markets. Okay, so let's have a look at the ASX today. I got rid of this tweet. And yeah, it's been a pretty good day, apart from small caps. So let's have a look at the sectors and indices, which ones have performed well. Energy, material, well, energy is understandable. Oil, materials, understandable. More than likely iron ore. I have a feeling uranium's down because I did have a look at the best and worst performing companies, and I saw a lot of uranium companies in the worst performing companies today. Now, in terms of worst performing companies, I'm talking about by market cap. Real estate's had a good day, and for some reason, telecommunications has not had a good day. Is that because is Telstra in that? I would assume Telstra is in that, but I've got a feeling it's not. But why wouldn't it be? It is there, yeah. And Telstra is down, and Telstra is by far the biggest company. REA Group is just behind that, and Car Group. And it seems like the reason Communication Services is down is because of Telstra, and Spark New Zealand's down as well. I have, by the way, I've taken a position in Spark New Zealand, thinking there will be a bounce eventually, but the fact that it's down today may not be a good sign moving forward for Spark New Zealand. Okay, so that's the reason why telecommunications is down. I can completely understand why those other sectors are up. Having a look at the ASX 20, everything's, gold's down, by the way. So again, energy up, materials up, but gold is down 2.27%. Not sure why. I didn't see much weakness in gold last time I looked. Yeah, it's not that weak. Maybe it's the dollar. Is the dollar running hard? Yeah, its dollar is rising. Has broken out, looks like. Looking good. Keep on running, Australian dollar. Please keep on running. Not literally running. I'm talking about getting higher. I want to move some money from Australian dollars to US dollars, but I want a good interest rate, or a good currency rate for that. Anyway, so let's have a look at the ASX 20, and up 0.81%. So pretty good day for those investors who just like to invest in the bigger companies, not the better companies, the bigger companies. I'm not one of those Rudy investors who think bigger means better. In fact, I don't believe that at all. He's sort of investor who believes if it's bigger, it must be better. And that doesn't explain why all the big companies in the past have fallen flat, have decreased, and are no longer around. Like all those big railroad companies or steel companies that used to be the biggest companies in the world 50, 100 years ago. They're no longer around. Well, if they are around, they're fairly small. Anyway, Xerox, that's another company. Xerox, Kodak. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's have a look. So this is really interesting. So the ASX 20 is up 0.81%. So you might expect maybe 15 companies up, 16 companies up, 4 down, 11 companies up, 9 down, which tells us that the biggest companies within the ASX 20 have had a pretty good day. And if we list the ASX 20 companies by market, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some really good red or green at the top. Yep, BHP up 2.71%, NAB up 1.29%, and those companies that are down fairly smallly. That is a word. And then we have Goodman Group, Fortescue, Rio Tinto, all up pretty well. And by far the best performing companies are energy, Woodside, Fortescue, and iron ore. Woodside, Fortescue, BHP, Rio Tinto, and then there's Goodman Group in there as well. And real estate's had a pretty good day. And if we look at the worst performing companies, Telstra, Wesfarmers, Westpac, Woolworths, Macquarie, I in fact expected better performance from the banks. So yeah, I thought if we go back, I didn't see where's financials here. Yeah, financials is up slightly, and banks up slightly. So some of the banks have had a good day, some have not. Now, who knows why some banks have a good day, some banks do not. Maybe it's a bit of rotation. I just don't know. Okay, so let's get to the best and worst performing companies. We'll start up with the top gainers. I'm looking to see if there's any interesting companies within this list. Imagine Biosystems is up 60% on fairly low turnover, and I'm pretty sure they did not release anything. Market cap is only 1.43 million. Share price down 93% in the past year. Not a good thing. Can Group. Now, could be an interesting one. Share price up 58.33% on pretty good turnover. I did have a look at this company, and then I noticed the company was in a trading halt. It's not CNN, it's Can Group, and they did receive a price query from the ASX. So the share price has been running, and I'm pretty sure this company had a pretty good day on Friday. Yeah, up 33% on pretty high turnover, 4.3 million shares traded. Today it's up to 12.3 million. So the ASX is like, what's happening here? Why is there a lot of interest in this company? There's companies that have released no news, and I would probably just suggest this is day traders getting excited. That's what they do. Now let's have a look to see what Can Group actually said. I'm pretty sure this is a cannabis company. Can, that's probably the word can. I'm gonna have a look at what the company does, if it's in here. No, it's not there. I just wish in every single announcement there should be an about section to make it easy for myself. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this company is a cannabis company. So when a company receives a price query, typically they answer no in the first section, which is the ASX asking the company, do you have any price sensitive information that you have not released to the market that could explain why the share price is going up or even going down? Typically, but not always the case, and we're going to see one of these examples of a company not answering no, but typically they do answer no. And that's what Can Group has done here. They've said no. So the question is Can aware of any information concerning it that has not been announced to the market, which, if known by some in the market, could explain the recent trading in its securities? In other words, is there anyone who knows information and they're trading that information or insider trading? And that's illegal. And usually when the company does answer yes, you hear nothing else from it. Anyway, they say no, the company is not aware, blah, blah, blah. And if they answer no, they don't have to answer question 2, but they do have the possibility or the chance to answer 3. Funnily enough, says here, question 2, if the answer to question 1 is no, is there any other explanation? Usually that's question 3. So maybe ASX have changed things here. Okay, so question 2 here is, if you answer no to question 1, is there any other information that could explain why the share price is rising? Simple as that. And this is where you might get some really interesting information. So let's see what Can Group have stated here. Okay, and we do get some interesting information here. They say the reason why the share price might be rallying is because the company released an investor presentation on 19th of September 2024, which was presented at Pitt Street Research Life Sciences. And I don't know, I'm just going through this fairly quickly. Doesn't seem like this could be reason why the share price would have rallied over 100% in a fairly short period of time. Yep, and the company launched a public advertising campaign through local and national outlets for the sale and leaseback of its facility in Mildura. I'm not sure even that could explain that, the rise in share price. And the company is contemplating raising further capital via a rights issue. If anything, that should lead to the share price dropping, not rising. Anyway, so interesting goings on for Can Group. Let's have a good chart. You'll be able to see the share price just going bonkers the last few trading days. And I'd say the share price has been a downtrend since or before that. Yep, share price in a downtrend before that. It looks like the share price was sort of going sideways or drifting very slowly up. And we did see some spikes in volume. So from this last big drop in June, there was a bit of a spike in volume. And after that, we have seen a rise in volume. And again, volume sometimes does precede price action. Some people have called it a wake up call on volume. So this is the market telling us, wake up, something's happening with Can Group, and then we get the takeoff the last few trading days. Now, in saying that, share price has pulled back a fair bit. Share price reached a high of 13.5 cents, now is down to 9.5 cents. That's understandable because there would be a lot of investors who bought at high prices and they're waiting for an opportunity to get out of this dog stock. Not that I'm calling this a dog stock. That's what they think. Because most investors, when they buy shares in a company, they want the share price to rise immediately. They can't handle it if it falls. They just can't handle it, and they hate the company, not their decision-making skills. Anyway, so that's Can Group. Probably spent a little bit more time on that company than I wanted to. Otherwise, fairly low turnover for most of these companies until we get to Core Lithium. I'm pretty sure they did not release anything. Now, Hazer Group, just above Core Lithium, did release something. And I will discuss this company because the share price is up 28%, and this company did release an announcement today. So I'm very happy that Hazer Group has made it into this particular list because it is in my top 5 stocks. It would have been a little bit embarrassing if share price didn't go higher. Sarantanco Star Entertainment Group has had a nice bounce. Really expected that. But sometimes, even if you do expect something to happen, when you're still a little bit, you might be a little bit skeptical it will happen, even if you do expect it to happen. So when it does happen, you sort of have a sigh of relief. That's what I had with Star Entertainment Group today. I saw the share price was above 30 cents for a little bit, and I went, oh, yes, it's going to run. I actually expected that, and that's why I did take or added to my position in that company. And that's about it. So let's have a look by market cap. Fletcher Building did release something. I do remember this company releasing something, but it didn't seem it was that positive. Capital change, placement, institutional entitlement offer. It wasn't marked price sensitive. Just going to have a quick look at the chart for Fletcher Building, because the chart for this company was at one time looking pretty bleak, and it's still looking bleak. I was just thinking maybe the share price is starting to move in uptrend, but no. Let's move on to the next one. Spartan Resources, good day. Botanics, BrainChip, Sayona, 29 Metals. So we are seeing some copper companies. 4D Medical, pretty good day last week, last Friday. Another okay day today, up 6%. And there's EZZ, share price is dropping. And Environmental Group has gone on a run as well. Let's have a look at the chart for this company. This is actually a pretty nice looking chart, Environmental Group. Yeah, this is actually a nice looking chart. Share price has really taken off the last week. Share price has increased from 33 cents to 41 cents in about 6 or 7 trading days. Okay, so that's all I've got for the best performing companies on the ASX today. Let's have a look at the top losers. The losers. Estrella Resources up or down 21.43%. I don't remember this. Actually, funny enough, I do get emails about this company, and I always delete it without reading it. And all they did was release an annual report to shareholders. Why was a company in a trading hold? And all they had to do was release the annual report to come out of the trading hold. Let's have a look. That's weird. When did they release this announcement? 9:14 a.m. Did they start trading straight away today? No, at 1:18. I don't know what's going on with Estrella Resources. Let's move on to the next one. Rimfire Pacific. I'm pretty sure they released a negative announcement last week. I'm pretty sure this company popped up. Let me have a look. Yep, 26 down 26.6% on the 26th of the 9th, which is a Thursday. And let's go on. And there's nothing really else of note here, of interest here, to me anyway. Let's have a look by market cap. And this is, I saw a few uranium companies here. DPLO, Lotus Resources, Peninsula Energy. So that's 3 uranium companies at the top of this list. So that does mean maybe uranium's had a little bit of a bad day. Webjet Group, that's down 10%, but the share price has been quite volatile since they demerged. And Pact Group, I thought Pact Group was being taken out. What's happening with Pact Group? Has that takeover bid fallen flat? Usually if there is a takeover bid for a company, it doesn't fall 5%. You can see there was a takeover bid for this company back in December last year. So it's almost, 9 months ago? And maybe nothing's happening. Don't know. And just the way that it's traded since about the 11th of June tells me that takeover bid has been cold. I have no idea. I haven't really been looking at this company. And usually if the takeover was like 9 months ago, it should have been nothing the last 3 months. Takeover offer for BGH letter to shareholders. A supplementary bidder's statement. Not sure what's going on with Pact Group. So let's move on to the next one. And what else do we have here? Anything of interest here? No. I'm saying no, 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 no. Okay, that means we can get to the top 5 stocks of the day. And only one of these companies popped up in the top gainers and the top losers, and that was Hazer Group. I'm going to put Hazer Group number 1. Why not? And I'll put REA Group number 5. I'll put Synlait Milk number 4. A2 Milk number 3. And RPA Global number 2. So let's start off with REA Group. This company really wants to take over what's it called? Rightmover. They really want Rightmover. So they released a further update regarding Rightmove PLC on Friday evening at 6:21 p.m. They really want this company. I don't know why, because I don't know Rightmover at all. They're just mentioning, and in fact, they say here, they are urging Rightmover shareholders. No, they're not urging. They are saying to Rightmover shareholders, you should urge to direct their board to engage with REA Group. This is a nice premium to the share price. They mention here it's a 45% premium to Rightmove's 12-month VWAP and a 52% premium to Rightmove's. What's the difference here? Oh, okay. So this has something to do with REA's group share price as well, because the first one was REA's latest closing share price plus additional special dividend of 6 pence per share and implied offer. Why is it two offer prices here? Anyway, REA Group really wants to take over Rightmove, and it's at a premium. But Rightmove directors keep saying, "Get lost, please get lost, REA Group. We think you are undervaluing this company," and that's their right. Now, REA Group reiterates their disappointment and surprise at the repeated rejections of its prior proposals by the board of directors. Now, if they keep raising their price, this is a pretty good move from the board of directors of Rightmove. They're doing the right thing for their shareholders. That's exactly what they should do. And if they keep raising the price, possibly eventually Rightmove directors will accept it. And REA Group urges, in fact, I did use that word earlier, Rightmove shareholders to use what little time remains ahead of the upcoming deadline of 30th September 2024. That's today. And we'll see if this goes through. They shouldn't, I wouldn't say REA Group is sounding a little bit desperate here, but yeah, the board of directors of Rightmove just don't want to be taken over, and that's their right. Anyway, so REA Group, how's the chart looking for this company? Oh, by the way, I'm a shareholder of REA Group. In fact, at one point in time, REA Group was my longest holding, and then I took profits, and then I bought back in. In fact, I've mostly held REA Group for the last 12, 13 years. So I've done pretty well out of this company. In fact, I've done really well because I took profits back in late 2021 and then bought back in late 2022. So I didn't hold this company for 1 year and I bought back in at lower prices. Anyway, the chart looks pretty good. There's no reason, this chart looks pretty good, and there's been a nice little dip, possible buy the dip situation for REA Group. And I think one of the reasons why the share price has dipped because of this particular possible acquisition of Rightmover. Okay, so not much really else to discuss when it comes to REA Group. Just interesting happenings with this company and their pursuit of Rightmover. Now on to Synlait Milk. Now this company did release their annual results today. Share price up 5.6%. So they released their annual report, shareholder letter. In fact, I did not have a look at the shareholder letter. I wonder if they've got any sort of, they have not released any sort of guidance. And this company hasn't really performed. Now I'm just wondering, maybe there is some positiveness within this shareholder letter, and I'm looking at it very quickly and I can't really see it right now. Now I'm just going to open up the annual report. Now the annual report, in fact, I'm just going to open up the New Zealand or the NZX results. I'll do this fairly quickly. So you can see this company, yeah, there has been revenue $1.6 billion, yet the company is not profitable and they do have trouble generating any cash flow. Now, so that this company does exist on fairly low margins, so they're like a producer of milk, that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure they're a producer of milk. Something to do with milk, anyway. Now, one of the things about this, there was, if I can find it, I should have actually written down exactly where it was. I saw this going concern. I wonder where it was. Orders report. All right, I did read it. I definitely read it. In fact, it was in your box. I wonder if I wonder if it's past the director's part of the. I'm wondering where it is. Now, it wasn't here, but there was this box, a going concern box, that does explain that even though at this point in time, it looks like maybe the company is out of the woods, that in 12 months' time, there will still be issues when it comes to the company's financing. And they spell that out pretty well in this little going concern box. I just wish I actually marked it down where exactly that was. I'm certain it was in this little box. I was certain but was definitely not. It was maybe it was in one of the other announcements here. No, no, can't find it. Can't find it. Sometimes things are hard to find when you really, really want it. But there is still current concerns for this company. Now, why the share price is up? They didn't release any sort of guidance. There must have been maybe the results were a little bit than expected, or maybe there was some trading update from the company and it was positive. Share price has fallen a lot over the past few years. In fact, this company share price was well above $10 in 2018 or 19, and the share price has dropped a lot. In fact, it's fallen to 36 cents. So I'm pretty sure the share price was $12. Yep, $12 in 2018. So this is an ugly looking chart. In fact, the share price moved into a downtrend. Moved into a downtrend in 2019. So this was actually before the COVID-19. In fact, it moved into a downtrend when the share price was $9. Now, it looked like maybe the share price was trying to move into uptrend late 2022, but that failed. And maybe you could say the share price has found a bottom around about, say, about 23 cents or so towards the end of June. And maybe the share price is trying to move up, but there's a lot of maybes there. The other thing you'll notice here is very light volume, 2023 into summer 2024, and the volume has really picked up over the last 4 or 5 months. That can be a good sign moving for this company. But have a look for that going concern, because they did mention 12 months, there's still a concern when it comes to this company's finances or debt, whatever it is, financing facilities. Anyway, so that's Synlait Milk coming in at number 4. Number 3, we have a relation to Synlait Milk, and that is A2 Milk. In fact, I think pretty sure A2 Milk was mentioned in Synlait Milk's annual report. Now, the reason I wanted to look at A2 Milk has nothing to do with Synlait Milk, has to do with the response to ASX price query. Now, I do have some questions here for the ASX, because it's pretty obvious why A2 Milk share price rallied last Friday. It was because of the stimulus measures in China. I thought that was fairly obvious. And I was a little bit surprised that they did receive a price query. But in their trading halt announcement, they did mention something to do with an acquisition. So maybe A2 Milk was being a little bit conservative by just mentioning the acquisition. But they did answer question 1 with not a yes or no, but a possibly. So is the company aware of any information concerning it that has not been announced to the market, which, if known by some in the market, could explain the recent trading in its securities? Response, possibly. And then they go on about China and the stimulus measures. And I think that's a perfect explanation. And the ASX should have known this. They should have known that this was leading to the share price of A2 Milk going on a run. It's happening with other companies, and those other companies haven't received a price query. Perfect example of this is EZZ. Share price up 13.6% today. In fact, I sold at 460, so share price is about where I sold. And not only that, the share price, look at that share price going on a massive run in the past 6 trading days. Share price has increased from $2.90 to $4.59. This company has not received a price query, although the volume hasn't been significantly high. In fact, I'm going to see if A2 Milk's volume on Friday was significantly high. No, it wasn't significantly high. It was 5.6 million. In fact, the volume was higher 4 days previous to that. In fact, you see a lot of 5, 6, and 7 million shares traded. So the volume wasn't that high. The share price rallied 8.7%. So I'm a little bit disappointed with ASX that they needed an explanation from A2 Milk. And they do just talk about, this going on and on. But they also mention, they They also mention here, as noted above, this is their reply to question 2. As noted above, A2 Milk considers it likely that the recent trading is likely to have been driven by the news relating to actual and speculated Chinese or China stimulus measures. A2 Milk doubts that its participation in confidential and incomplete discussions regarding a potential acquisition is materially price sensitive given uncertainties, including whether it will proceed. If so, on what terms and conditions, and what impact it may have on the company. Accordingly, A2 Milk mentions this only for completeness and out of an abundance of caution. However, if this was materially price sensitive, listing rule 3.1a applied to those discussions prior to their disclosure through the release of this response on ASX. So I do think A2 Milk Management is being a little bit cautious here. They just mentioned they're being cautious. And I think there should be a question to the ASX, why did A2 Milk actually need to receive this? Because it was obvious to most people the reason why A2 Milk share price was rallying. It was fairly obvious to us. So maybe ASX people are pretty dumb. Sorry, ASX. Sorry, ASX people. By the way, let's have a look at the chart for A2 Milk. And you can just see the share price just rallying on this Chinese stimulus. There it is. Over the last 4 or 5 trading days, it's gone from $5.20 up to $6.30. So that's A2 Milk coming in at number 3. Now we have a company I don't know much about. RMA Global, something to do with real estate, up 10.91%. Share price did reach a high of 7 cents. So that means the share price at one point today was up over 20%. And they did announce a strategic partnership or deal with Reality One Group. Now, I actually did open this announcement up. I went to the About section just to see if RMA Global has anything to do with real estate. They do. But I didn't get much out of this. Oh, you know what I read? I read Reality Group, not the RMA. So Rate My Agent. Oh, that's what RMA stands for. Rate My Agent helps homeowners select trusted real estate professionals operating in Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. Rate My Agent continues to lead the global market in championing agents that are dedicated to exceptional client service. I can definitely see why that could be popular if you want to sell some property. You want to find the right agent. That's a very important process, finding the right agent. It could help or cost you a lot of money if you don't find the right agent. So I could definitely see why this company could be popular. And then I actually didn't read that bit. I read the About Reality One Group, and I didn't find what they actually do much. It was very, for instance, Reality One Group International is one of the fastest growing modern purpose-driven lifestyle brands in real estate whose one purpose is to open doors across the globe. One home, one dream, one life at a time. Tells me absolutely nothing about the company. And then I just moved on. Anyway, so that's so there's some sort of deal here between RMA Global, Rate My Agent, and this particular US brokerage Reality One Group. And no mention of any financial numbers here, which I do prefer to see. I like financial numbers. Who knows who this is going to benefit? It may not benefit any of these companies. It may benefit one of these companies over the other, or it might benefit both companies. That remains to be seen. Now let's have a look at the chart for this company. And this is probably the reason why I have not looked at this company at all in the past. Share price has been in a downtrend for a long time. Now, there looks like there was a bit of interest in this company back in, or just prior to COVID-19. Gee, so possibly this company was significantly hurt by COVID-19. Share price went on a massive run up to 62 cents and then fell all the way down to 13 cents during the peak in the panic. And the share price has been drifting lower ever since, down to 6.1 cents right now. And even with this particular announcement, nothing to excite me. Put it that way. Nothing to really excite me. I was hoping maybe this could be a breakout for RMA Global or Rate My Agent, but at least I know a little bit more about this company right now. Okay, let's move on to company that has come in at number 1. Another fairly small company, I think. So RMA has a market cap of 30 million, 34 million. Hazer, this could be like between 100 and 500 million. 84 million, I was well off. So share price has fallen a lot. So yeah, my memory of Hazer Group is the company was much more valued, but had a much higher valuation than 84 million. So obviously the share price has dropped a fair bit the last few years. Now Hazer Group has something to do with decarbonisation. Not as sure exactly what they do, but they did release an announcement that has sent the share price up 27%, 26%, up to 36.5 cents. CDP achieves over 360 hours of continuous operation. Now, to me, that means absolutely nothing because I have no idea what CDP is. Might be one of the devices that decarbonizes the atmosphere. In fact, according to this, methane to hydrogen conversion surpassing previous campaigns and approaching design values. So methane to hydrogen conversion machine. So that's interesting. That's been running for 360 years. I was certain this was a decarbonisation company. Let's have a look at the about section. Hazer Group is an Australian technology company driving global decarbonisation efforts with the commercialisation of the company's disruptive, world-leading climate tech. Hazer's advanced technology enables the production of clean and economically competitive hydrogen and high-quality graphite. So they are decarbonisation, creating hydrogen and graphite using a natural gas or biogas feedstock and iron ore as a process catalyst. Okay, so I suppose this does sound good. 360 hours, I suppose that is a long time. What's that, 15 consecutive days? I suppose that's pretty good. But other than that, I don't know anything else about this company. And the chart. I do know a few of the Ausbiz people do like this company or did like this company. I'm not sure if they do now because the chart does not look good. Share price in a downtrend. Now, the share price fell through a support level back in July. That price was about 45 cents. And even though the share price has rallied today, it's still in a downtrend. So I wouldn't call this a breakout or anything like that. Chart still looks fairly negative. So what we need to see here is no selling. And there will be a bit of selling. There's probably been a little bit of selling today because a lot of shareholders have bought at higher prices. Now, the only way you won't see selling is if all the shareholders are very confident about their technology, which would be very rare. But anyway, I would expect a bit of selling moving forward, particularly in the next few days. I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price of this company drop 10% over the next few days, just because the share price it's in a well-defined downtrend. Okay, that's all I got when it comes to Hazer Group. I really didn't find anything today, to be honest with you. Nothing of note, nothing of interest. So let's have a look at a few of your comments. I did ask you what your favorite chart is. I really meant the charts I showed you in my technical update video. I think Anderson got the picture. His favorite chart was Santos. Yeah, I could agree with that. In fact, I was going to buy some Karoon shares today. How have these companies gone today? Santos up 2.5%. Karoon, 6.5%. Oh, I should have bought some Karoon shares. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. There's lots of opportunities on the market. So anyway, let's go back to the comments. So Fishball says, what is a nice chart is SIDEV, STV. What signal would you be looking for to sell? Maybe share your thoughts on different situations. Profit downgrade is an obvious one. Yes, that's probably the most obvious one. Any sort of profit downgrade would be an automatic sell for me when it comes to SIDEV right now. But what will be the others? Now, this is an interesting one because I have held SIDEV for quite a while. Now, I would not consider this company to be high quality. So I have changed the way I'm trading these companies now and this sort of company because it is low quality. Has to prove to me in the market that it has the fortitude to become a high quality company in the future. It's not there just yet. It has to become profitable on a continual basis, generate cash flow, that sort of thing. But the chart looks absolutely stunning. And the company has released a few really good Appendix 4Cs in a row. So if they maintain that, the share price will keep on increasing. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for SIDEV. And this is a nice looking chart. Share price started taking off in April when they did release that really good Appendix 4C. So what might lead to the trend coming to an end is a bad Appendix 4C. That is the financial announcement or financial statement that is driving the share price of this company. So SIDEV will release their next Appendix 4C in October unless the ASX have told them they don't have to release it anymore, which is a possibility. Let's have a look. Sometimes they will announce it, sometimes they won't. For instance, AMA Group have been releasing independence 4C for the last year or so, and they did release an announcement the other day, relief from quarterly reporting. So AMA Group won't release their appendix 4C for what quarter is this? The September quarter. Anyway, so that is what I'll be looking at when it comes to SciDev. And if they release a really weak appendix 4C, wouldn't be surprised to see the share price move out of this uptrend. But this is a beautiful looking chart right now. I have no intentions of even thinking about selling my position in this company. Now, one thing I'd like to see is increasing volume. We're not really seeing that just now. Subtle increase the last few days, but it's hard to see here. You can just see a subtle increase, but not great. We saw some really nice little spikes in volume back in June, July, and August. But one thing I would really like to see is a bit of a spike in volume. And if the company releases a really good appendix 4C, that may be the catalyst. That may be the catalyst that will lead to the share price going high up and also volume coming in. Because the reason I look at volume is I want to see some institutions, some fund managers becoming interested in this company. I'm not sure if many are interested in SciDev just yet, but a beautiful looking chart for this company. So those are things I'm looking for. Any sort of profit downgrade will be fairly negative. That's true for all companies, but it's really about their appendix 4Cs. And if they do release that negative appendix 4C, that could turn the sentiment in the market against SciDev. In fact, I don't have a selling point with this company. A lot of other companies I do, but I don't have one with SciDev. I'm going to do this fairly quickly. In fact, if the share price falls sort of below 50 cents, I would sell SciDev right now. You can see the share price reached around about 50 cents back in July, then pulled back. It tried to get above 50 cents in late August, then pulled back, and it got above 50 cents a few days ago, a few weeks ago, 12th and 13th of September, and then it's gone on a run. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price try to pull back to this level and then take off again. But if it falls below this level or this zone, that would be fairly negative. So that would be my technical sell when it comes to SciDev, sort of that level. Now, if the share price falls to 48 cents, would I sell? Maybe not. I just want to see because share price might bounce. So sometimes traders will try to force out stop losses, that sort of thing. But that would be sort of the critical level I would have for SciDev right now, 50 cents or that zone anyway. And thank you, Anderson Santos. Check out APA graph, starting to look a little better. Would like to see it above $8 though. I do remember APA bouncing off a support level. Now there it is. It's got very close to support level, which was around about $7.20 and has bounced. So I'm not as interested yet with APA Group. So it has been a nice bounce, but I need to see a little bit more right now to say the share price will continue to go higher from here. So I'm not in or would not be thinking about taking a trading position in APA Group just yet, but it has been a nice bounce. I wouldn't be surprised to see share price drop back to 720. But technical analysis is quite broad, and you could see something completely different than I'm seeing. I suppose it is looking a little better. I suppose that's true. Would like to see above $8. Actually, let's have a look at that. Yes. In fact, I actually would say that. That's exactly what I'll be looking at. So we're on the right page here. We're the same page here, HBK Fortis. $8 is the important level for APA Group. And you can see why. Hopefully you can see why. $8. James Dean died in 1955, says, thoughts on Cochlear, please? Thank you. Well, if I don't do it, then you can't thank me. You have to take that thank you back. And I'll do this one and then the next one, which is about shape. Okay, so thoughts on Cochlear. I did mention Cochlear in a recent video, and I'm fairly negative. Just on the chart, just the chart. Positive about the company long-term, maybe not positive about the valuation, but I'm negative about the chart. And the whole reason I'm negative about Cochlear is because the share price fell through this support level on a strength on the back of financial statements. The release of their financial statements in August, share price fell through that like quicksand. Just dropped and kept on dropping. And look at the volume as well. Really big volume coming through. Now, this could be, some institutions selling, and that's why the share price keeps on dropping because their enthusiasm to sell is greater than anyone's enthusiasm to buy. And that is what's driving the share price down. Enthusiastic sellers right now. Now, because I do consider Cochlear to be a high quality company, eventually you will see support, you will see value investors going, "Ooh, there's good value in Cochlear right now." Whether now is that price, I don't know. Don't know Cochlear well enough to know whether, now, according to TradingView, price to earnings ratio is 51. Does seem fairly excessive, but the company will grow pretty nicely over the next 5 to 10 years. Anyway, but just based off this chart, if I saw this chart and I didn't know the company, I'd be, ew. Wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce. But at this point in time, I'm negative this particular chart. And finally, Shape from JLanks872. I like the chart of Shape Australia, SHA. I like that it's been a steady uptrend since June 2023. And more recently, I was encouraged by the massive volume day on 19th of September. Great dividend and very high ROE. There is a lot to like about Shape. Now, for full disclosure purposes, I am trading Shape. And one of the reasons I like Shape is exactly what you said. The share price just grinds higher, slowly higher, just grinding and grinding and grinding higher. This is beautiful. So I took a position at 186 back in January. They went ex-dividend on the 29th of February. Pretty sure that was ex-dividend. Share price dropped, and I accepted the dividend because it was a nice dividend yield, as the OP says, JLanks. And share price just grinding higher. There's been no selling. There was a big spike in volume on the 19th of September. That could be an institution, could be a cross trade, not sure. But share price just keeps on going higher. The other thing to note, you can't really see it, but since that big spike in volume, there has been a little bit of an increase in volume. It's really hard to see because of that spike. I just wish you could decrease the spike. Now, one way you can get around that is by having a look at the trade history. So in fact, there was a 2-day spike. Share price increased, or the volume 3.4 million one day, 1.3 million the next day. We saw volume getting above $100,000 or 100,000 shares traded 3 out of the next 6 days or 5 days. And you can see before that really big spike in volume, this company had trouble trading 100,000 shares in a day. There was one there on the 21st of August. So it's a subtle increase in volume we have seen since that spike. That's a good sign moving forward. But you notice the change in share price it's just very little. There's very little volatility. And one of the reasons I like that is because day traders don't care about this company at all. And I don't like day traders because they love volatility. And in this sort of situation, I don't like volatility. So a really nice looking chart for Shape Australia. It's a beautiful uptrend. I do like that increasing volume. That's a good sign moving forward. Last time I had a look at this company, it didn't seem that excessively expensive. P ratio 14.5, a dividend yield 6.3%. Pretty nice. So I have no complaints about Shape Australia at all. Okay, and that's all I have for this particular video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.